Hey, plumber boy, mustache man, your worst nightmare has arrived.
Pack up your stuff. I got a little surprise for you here.
Check it out. What do you think about that? We got real-time, 3D, lush organic environments. How's that make you feel, buddy?
Feel a little like your days are numbered?
I'm gonna have to ask you to leave.
You're hurting my elbow.
Is that Italian?
No, Bandicoot. It's an Australian name.
We are not going to panic.
What the heck even happened to you, man?
Vengeance.
Shrimp Daddy! Ha 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 ha!
Give him a hockey stick! What am I, fucking magician, man? Am I some kind of fucking magician, man?
Fucking nerd.
Big nerd! Whatever. It's not like we're professionals anyway.
And I'm not sorry anymore.
Time to big brain.
Every day, yes.
What is the Airwolf of trains? Welcome back, listeners, to episode 134 of the Lasercomb podcast. A show where these two guys comb through classic television with a fine-tooth laser. I am one of your hosts, Sergeant Cal.
And I am the youngest man alive, Commodore Siege.
And today we're continuing with the Space Month with
Space shit.
Space shit. Space. And we've
Space
got
shit theme.
Last time we did I almost said Babylon 5.
That is well, you almost said the correct thing because Babylon 5 is what we reviewed last week.
Oh, then
Yeah.
we did. I
Yeah.
always get Battlestar Galactica and Babylon 5 like mixed up in my head because I've never watched either.
Well, appropriately enough, we started off this programming block, Space Shit, with Babylon 5, and we are ending with Battlestar Galactica. So
There we go.
we're bookending it with the two shows whose names you conflate with one another.
Perfect. Keep them as far away from each other as possible.
Perfect, especially since Space Shit was your idea. The theme was your pick this time around.
That's right. And today we're watching Space Above and Beyond.
We thought we were alone. We believed the universe was ours. Until one night in 2063, on an Earth colony 16 light years away, they struck. Now we are at war. My name is Lieutenant Colonel T.C. McQueen. I'm an in vitro, a race of artificially gestated humans. I command a Marine Corps squadron. The 58th, they call us the Wild Cards. We fight when called. In space, on land, and at sea. To lose this war means more than defeat. To surrender is to never go home. All of us must rise to the call, above and beyond.
Now, Space Above and Beyond was one of my choices because this was a show I remember watching reruns of after it had aired, but not too long after it had aired. Because I think the show aired from 95 to 96, and I think it probably would have been around 99 because the channel Space, which we've talked about before, which is now known as Great Channel. It's now known as CTV Sci-Fi, which is but to me, it's always going to be the Space Channel. Space, the imagination station.
Yeah.
But when that was a channel that launched in 1997, I believe, along with, again, I've talked about this before, but there was this big, in 97, there was this big blah of new channels that we got in Canada.
Hell yeah.
Among them was Teletoon and Space, the imagination station. But yeah, in the early days of the Space Channel, they were showing a lot of reruns of old, not old, well, some old, but also recently, reruns of shows that had been canceled. Sci-fi shows that had been canceled within the past few years prior to that. So I discovered there were quite a few sci-fi shows from the early to mid 90s that I discovered watching reruns of on Space
Yeah.
in like 1998, 1999, 2000-ish. And one of them was Space Above and Beyond. Now, I didn't remember a ton about this show. In fact, I didn't remember anything about it. All I remember was that it was really good. So I was excited to come back to this, like after like 25 plus years.
So you just caught the odd episode here, rerun here or there, but you remember it being good.
But I remember it being good, yeah.
I had never really heard of it before. I might have, like caught it on the tail end here or there. I wouldn't be able to tell you anything about it. Maybe I never watched it at all until very recently.
Mm-hmm.
I was I'll save what I thought about it when we get into it.
Yeah, that's about all the preamble that I have for Space Above and Beyond. Honestly, don't know a ton about the show. I just remember that I watched reruns of it like 26, 27 years ago and really, really liked it at the time. But I had never gone back to it until, yesterday when I watched this episode, which the episode we rolled through the old random number generator was episode 22, which... What was the name of the
Sugar
episode?
and Dirt. Or let me look it up. I think it was Sugar and Dirt.
Sugar Dirt.
Sugar Dirt.
Sugar Dirt.
Which in hindsight now, holy shit. Because I'm like,
Dirt.
what the fuck? Why is it called that? And now I'm like, oh my God.
Sugar Dirt, which originally aired on April 20th, 420, blaze it, 1996. 420 space it, bro.
420 space it. So yeah, the intro, that's the thing about shows from the 90s is you know what you're getting into from the intro.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, hey, humans are expanding. The first intelligent alien life we encountered was when we were attacked.
Yep.
And okay, got it. The show is, and I mean this from the military point, not the satire point. The show, for me, is like a combination of Starship Troopers and Black Hawk Down, or Behind Enemy Lines.
I was getting big Stargate vibes from this if Stargate was humorless. And I don't mean that as a negative.
It focuses more... That's what I mean by... Yeah, I know you don't mean that in a negative way, but it's focused more on the military parts of it. It felt more strategic and Saving Private Ryan-ish than Stargate did.
Stargate definitely did get into the military aspect of it. I mean, that was a military sci-fi show as well.
To some, yeah. This is very interesting because it's from what I would say two perspectives. At least this episode was. The perspective of what do they call it? Like the brass, like the lieutenants and generals all meeting and like talking about how the different Earth Confederate forces are going to like take back a planet and its airfields. In the fight against these aliens. The slur for them is chigs. I did a double take the first time I heard that a couple times.
Yeah, the first couple times I heard it, they say chigs, and the first couple times I heard it, it wasn't a G I was hearing, it was an NK, and I was like, wait, what?
It's even with
what am I watching here?
Like, it sounds like a combination of other real world slurs.
And here's one thing, which overall I was very positive on this. Here's one thing that watching this helped me come to realize. I really don't like slurs, period. I was uncomfortable every time they were using this slur to talk about this alien race, which it's like, okay, they're at war.
Which is not that much given how long the episodes fill hour-long time slots.
Oh, they say
about 45.
They say chigs a lot in the episode.
They could have said it more is what I was expecting more is what I'm saying.
Which, and I feel like that ties into the whole like military aspect of it, where like if you go back and watch like movies about like Vietnam or like World War II or whatever,
well, it's all about dehumanizing.
The soldiers are
enemy.
using slurs to refer to the enemy, which I get. But even though this is like like I said, even though this is like a fictional alien race that they're at war with, every time they used a slur to refer to this alien race, I felt uncomfortable.
I actually don't know what they're called because they
No,
only
I don't
refer to
either.
them as the slur, but I missed what they're actually called or what diplomacy is like between them. The simple fact I'm interested in those things kind of tips my hat to how I felt about the episode.
There doesn't seem to be any sort of communication between humanity and their alien aggressors whatsoever.
Speaking of old war movies, there's some like Vietnam, like they lied to you, GI. Your wife and kids miss you, GI. There's some like psychological war. I'm getting ahead of myself. Yeah.
So to get into it, the episode opens with a bunch of like military people, like figureheads, from,
generals, lieutenants,
generals, admirals from various like Earth, countries of various militaries of like Earth's different countries.
The Earth Confederate forces that make up like whatever Space Force.
Yeah.
So instead of it being like Terrans and they all have like one flag, there's still like American flag and like a German one and like
I think there was an admiral from China there as well.
Yeah, there were Chinese like space frigates, and there was also, was that India? Was that I'm bad at recognizing flags, especially when they're just three stripes colors.
Mm-hmm.
Like China, it's like red and it's got like the yellow.
Well, in some countries, it's like literally it will be three stripes, and like the colors can be the same, but just in a different order, and can be like
how many
could
flags
represent like 9 different countries depending on like
how many
what
flags
configuration.
Are red, blue, and some arrangement of red, blue, and white.
Yeah,
there's like 9 of them. One of them's like France, one of them's Russia, and I'm like, my brain doesn't work. Guys, there are other colors. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Like Jamaica's got black and yellow, right? Like, come on, guys.
Isn't Jamaica's flag black, green, and yellow?
Black, green, and it is, right?
Yeah, I could be wrong.
It's got to have yellow and black.
Quick, bring up Cool
green.
Runnings on Disney Plus.
Yeah. And it's got the black triangles coming in from the side,
right?
And then like a yellow X, and then the green triangles on the top. Yeah, right. Yeah. No red, but black. We're close.
So I like the idea. Of Earth's militaries still being disparate, but like distinct from one another, but working together against a common goal.
Yeah, there's a little bit more realism in this than I was expecting.
Yeah.
I was kind of expecting it to be more sci-fi-y, and less grand scale. Like I wasn't expecting like you apes want to live forever and like following like airdrops and like space battles and whatever its CG budget is. Even though this is just one episode, I feel like, and we'll get into why in a second, that this whole episode could have been a movie.
Totally.
Because a lot fucking happens over a long period of time.
There's
just this episode.
There's a lot going on in this episode that honestly nowadays probably would have like been an entire 10 episode season of a TV show.
This episode could be remade as like a mini series, as like a 6 episode mini series covering both sides, like the brass and like the decision making and the fleet battle.
Yeah.
And then like the fight on Ixion or Diasis or what the planet that the Marines are trapped on.
Ixion is the planet that they leave to go and overtake.
That's more strategically important, right?
The planet that they leave the Marines on is Deimos.
Deimos, that sounds
Deimos,
right. Yeah.
Deimos.
So to jump into it, you had said that the brass tacks kind of all met.
There's a very quick scene where we right after that where immediately I knew what was going on, but it's still a scene I really liked, and it's a very short like scene. There's a bunch of soldiers in the mess hall, and they're like in like the food line, and they're like, "Wow, like fresh like,
eggs."
like steaks and like fresh eggs, like not powdered eggs. Wow, they're really treating us. And someone is like, and immediately I'm like, they're giving you a good meal because they expect a bunch of you are going to die.
And behind closed doors, the brass had just said, hey, like, what are we looking at? Because like the enemy lost 2 warships, like taking this planet. So like, what are we looking at taking it? And it's like, we're looking at casualties of like 80%.
Yeah.
And, like Colonel Commander guys, there's no way like a planet could be like worth this or whatever. And then we cut to the squad unit chick, who's kind of like, it's because we're heading out.
It's because we're going in.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's like, because they're, like I said, they're like, wow, like, like real eggs, like not powdered eggs, and like steaks, like, wow, they're like, wow. And she's like, you know what this means is because it means we're going in. And so there's a level of like realism in like the military aspect of it, like right there, that I appreciate. Because that is a thing that they will do in the military, is when they're going to send soldiers out to a battle that they expect heavy casualties in, they feed them well beforehand.
Interesting.
Yeah.
You wanted them to have their
last
vitamins.
The last good meal. Yeah.
Probably more of that than
yeah,
having the vigor to fight better.
Yeah.
So when they surround the planet, and they try to make it, there's a lot of references to like, hey, like when the Americans did this, like during World War I, they had to like leave behind like this island chain because like capturing this was more important for the war.
World War II.
Blah, blah.
This is the example he used was World War II.
Yeah.
The Japanese,
somewhere on the Pacific front. Yeah.
The Japanese had spent so much time like defending like this, like fortifying this one island, that they pretty much neglected like other territory that they had that was more strategically advantageous.
When they counterattacked, they just ignored their biggest forces. Yeah. Mm-hmm. This Pacific theater. Things are way fucking different in space. And indeed, when they arrive, they drop troops down to take different. And this was originally a human colony and human airstrips.
Yeah. So
they need to capture their own planet, kind of their own colony back. And when they land, there's very little resistance.
Mm-hmm.
Suspiciously so. And back up, kind of like in low planet orbit, there is
there's a couple Earth ships.
Alien. There's a few like warships. Yeah.
One of them,
but there's an alien like scout that comes to almost like lure them away. Do you remember that? Like to the moon.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was going to say there's the main ships in this episode. One is the USS Eisenhower, and the other is the USS. It's named after
USS Other Ship.
It's named after another president. I was going to say I appreciate that these are actually like named after like American naval
they're naming
battleships.
Conventions.
Yeah.
Yeah. And indeed, they communicate with the other like nations' battleships as well.
A thing I'm a really big fan of is the Navy in space. Essentially, is when sci-fi depicts like military forces in space as essentially functioning like submarines or battleships in space. Mm-hmm. And there's even a point in the episode when they're about to depart, and the Commodore guy actually says "raise anchor."
Yeah,
and you hear a boatswain go off, and I'm like, this is exactly what I'm all about. This is the kind of fucking sci-fi I really like.
Right. And I can't remember what nation's ship it was, but they go around the other side of the planet, presumably to like send drop ships and take other strategic positions.
Admittedly, this was a time in the episode where I was microwaving food because I had just
Fair,
gotten
fair.
home from work. So there's a chunk like between like
Okay,
probably,
I'll
there's a
fill
chunk.
in, don't worry.
There's a chunk between like 10 and 20 minutes in the episode where I'm kind of fuzzy on things. But actually,
You pulled a oh fuck, who is that guy?
Eric Burnham.
You pulled a Burnham and Burnham and Bertram watching it.
I did, and I actually kind of regret that because once I sat down with my microwave lasagna and started eating and actually like paying closer attention to the episode, I got right fucking into it.
You were like, "Ooh, fuck yeah, bud!"
Exactly, yeah. But yeah, anyway, there's a period like around this time in the episode where my memory of things is kind of hazy.
Yeah, the yada yada is one of the ships. I think it's a UK ship or something like that. They go around the planet. And they send a small squadron to eliminate a single ship that comes suspiciously close. And it chases them behind the moon. And that squadron is annihilated because there are like huge ass warships. The alien battleships are kind of like diamond shapes, kind of like interesting. So instead of like, submarines or boats, which are often depicted, they're vertical. So interesting kind of design there. But the battleship doesn't know because it's like, oh, this is regular Captain blah, blah, blah. Radio silence when they go disappear behind the moon. They should come back any second now. And we cut back and onto the surface of the planet. And wouldn't you know it, it was like a trap. And the aliens are counterattacking. And I'm like, why would you ground all those vessels instead of like making sure the airspace? But the trap goes on bigger than that because all of their forces seem to be gathered behind like this moon. So they knew they were going to be attacked. And instead of engaging on the surface of the planet, they put all their efforts into space to blindside the squadron. And indeed, when it cuts back to the radio silence as like one of the battleships goes on the other side of the planet, it's like blah 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 5 hours later, and the camera, kudos to working with what they had. There's 3D models of the ships, right? Like you can see like behind me, and it scans the front and it almost looks like the battleship is like, in orbit, and as the camera like goes by, it shows that it's like blown apart and in debris. So they lost like a huge like battleship.
I just want to say too, the space scenes in this show are 100% CGI. For 1995, this is actually pretty fucking top-notch CGI. Like, I was impressed.
I was fine with it. Yeah. Like, yeah, it's obviously CG, but like it does exactly
and it's dated
what I need it to do.
It's dated, but like for the time, like this is like 10 out of 10 CGI.
Yeah, like keep in mind we had like Star Fox 64 and and
this was the same year that Mighty Morphin Power Rangers the movie came out, which I like and have a lot of nostalgia for, and I can still watch it now and have a lot of fun with it. But the CG in that Megazord battle, oof.
It's oof, yeah. You can get away with grandiose scale, like they did in this, because you don't need to look too close. Maybe there's something that's happening here as what were they called? Wild cards? Yeah, I'm just going to say that. I saw it on Google Images and I'm going to go with it. The main squad that we follow.
Not to be confused with Wild Cats.
Not to be confused with the Wild Cats. They hunker down after going and like searching, and they're like, there's no chigs here. What the fuck is going on? And they're in a diner and they're like, oh, score. And they fill their pockets full of coffee sweetener because I guess the aliens sabotaged or ruined all the food that were like left in the freezers or whatever, but they had no interest in like the sugar.
Yeah, I think one character even remarks that they shit all over the food.
I was wondering, I was like, Like literally, did they
Like-
just like take huge dump in like the ice cream fridge?
And like smear, because like somebody picked something up and it's like literally got like goop like smeared all over it.
Maybe they have different molecular biology and
Yeah.
they can't process sugars. Because let me tell you, Earth life, all about that sugar.
Mhm.
And indeed, we'll come back to why that's important later.
One of the chicks on the wild cards remarks that the diner looks like something straight off in the New Jersey Turnpike, which kind of made me chuckle a bit.
Yeah, maybe that's where it was filmed.
Maybe.
So they hunker down and they realize that
Imagine
as it cuts-
imagine stepping through the Stargate and someone and the like SG6 or some other team that we don't focus on normally is looking around and they're like, "Wow, this forest sure looks like BC, huh?"
right. This
Wow,
forest sure looks like BC. Wow, reminds me of home.
Reminds me of back home.
Famously, everything, if it's forest and mountains and waterfalls, there's like a 98% chance what you're watching was filmed in the province
In BC.
region I live in.
And if it's desert, there's like a 98% chance it was either filmed in California or Arizona.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Those are the two spots. Desert, it's sci-fi shows. If it's desert, it's either like somewhere in California or a very specific spot in Arizona.
Mm-hmm.
There's
And
like
if
this.
there's any rocky canyons, then it's Nevada.
Yeah.
As they're hunkering down, and we're like, holy shit, we need like air support, we need like more ground support. Like it cuts to the main ship, and somebody higher up appears, the admiral.
Yeah.
And he's like looking at the captain with like a serious look, and he's like, oh, like
clear the room.
yeah. And everybody kind of goes, and we're left with just like the higher ups.
We're left
And he's
with
giving
we're left
information.
with the Commodore
Mhm.
and Lieutenant Colonel McQueen, played
Right.
by the great James Morrison, who fantastic character actor. I recognized him immediately from 24.
And he's got a name badge that says McQueen.
Yeah.
And when you know it, he's the Force's hot shot, the best damn pilot they have. So what they find out, and it's not up for negotiation, it's like already been decided. The Admiral reveals that here's the intel on we had long thought and not put any resources to taking what was the planet that was like close to their homeworld, like Ixion or
Ixion, yeah.
Ixion, because obviously they'd have it reinforced. But recent reliable intelligence has told us that there's barely any like defenses there.
Yeah, and
There's a back and forth, like the yada yada is maybe they're actually stretched more thin. And the reason they're doing these like these kind of attacks is because like we actually have them on
the ropes.
Strategically, we have them at a disadvantage.
Yeah, he's like they've left this very strategically advantageous planet pretty much almost unguarded, and they're like, wow, if that's the case, then like maybe their forces are a lot more stretched thin than we had previously thought. And he's like,
and to basically, if we don't act on it, if we act on this and we take that, we could end like the war in a projection 2 years less than current estimates.
yeah, and he makes some kind of comment about like whether either way, like this like opportunity is going to make history, whether we act either, like we're going to make history either way. If we act on this and take it, we'll be making history by cutting down the war and cutting down the time the war is going to take to win,
and saving
about
2 million lives.
about 1 million or 2 lives, or we'll make history by this being viewed as the biggest missed opportunity in the war.
He says, end the war and save 2 million lives. And then Commodore Man says,
Commodore Ross.
At the cost of the 25,000 lives that we're leaving behind on the planet. So the implication, go ahead.
So the thing here is that they have to go and take this planet, which will, and if they do so, they'll save millions of lives in the process, and the war will be over a lot sooner. But the problem is they have to strand
everything right now.
They have to go like right now and take all of their forces there, and in doing so, they're going to strand 25,000 Marines on this planet Deimos.
So
it's a tough. Morally, logically, it makes perfect sense. Morally, it's a tough choice. So moral dilemma, another thing that I fucking love in sci-fi.
Mm-hmm. So, and you know what? I need to give props to Commodore 64 and Lightning McQueen.
Perfect.
Man, they're acting their asses off.
These two are the
following scene.
These two are the MVPs of the show. Like I said, James Morrison plays Lieutenant Colonel McQueen, and Commodore Ross is played by what's his name?
He's so familiar, but I never remember his name.
I know. I feel like I've seen him in a million things, but
right?
I even looked at his filmography and nothing was jumping out at me. Tucker Smallwood.
It's so weird when you see someone and you're like, I've seen this guy in like 100 things, I swear. And then you look at their filmography and you're like, no, don't know what that is. No.
And then you kind of have to just settle on the fact that, oh, they've been in a million things. I must just have seen them in like bit parts of like every TV show ever.
Like, you must have seen everything that they've been in. Yeah. Basically, those two have like an emotional like moment because as the Commodore is arguing with the Admiral and he says, we don't like leave our people behind. It seems like the Admiral's like considering all of their options. Like, do they do what is strategically necessary, but give up what makes them human?
Mm-hmm.
Which I like those themes. I really like that. Like, then like, okay, but then we're stranding all of these. Like, can we do that?
What would you do in this situation?
That's really hard because like the Vulcan in me is like the lives of the many outweigh the lives of the few. But then like if the war goes on another 5 years, the people that are 15-year-olds now, because they keep referring to like the actual troops and stuff as kids, which historically, like, you're throwing like 18 to 24-year-olds in the grinder.
Technically, you have to be 18 to enlist, but in like times of war, a lot of kids who were like 15, 16, 17 were lying about their age to go fight.
Especially back then when like, you know, like ID was like
a piece of paper.
Like a piece of paper.
You could just take your
text,
you could just take your older brother's like ID that would just be like typewritten text on like a little card and just show it.
Change the name
and
or just
like,
lie.
And just lie and just like show it at like the recruitment station, and they'll be like, "Welcome aboard, son.
Welcome aboard."
Here's my
you know, draw a fake mustache on.
I would not leave them behind because
there must be something you could do to put some level of resources.
Because even though the intel is telling, now logically, like, I get it, it makes total sense. The intel is telling us that if we go and do this now, we can take this planet and, you know, like millions of lives will be saved. That's all hypothetical.
That's hypothetical versus
reality. what we can do here and now. What we can do here and now is not leave these 25,000 people behind.
That's a really good point. Like a bird in the hand.
Exactly. Yeah. It's like, yes, okay, we could save millions of lives, like, down the road. But again, like I said, hypothetical. What we can do right now is not doom these 25,000 people. This is reality. This is fact. This is what we know definitively here.
That's fair. Yeah. Yeah. That's a good, and yeah, I think that's the best case. Best case Ontario is is like, do value the things that you have in the battle that you're winning. But that's not what happens.
That's not what happens, no. But if it were up to me, there would be very little discussion about it. This is like what the way things would play out.
Yeah, so like the French, German, Chinese, Singapore, and American, and like Brazilian, and the Jamaican. Why not? Maybe there's a Jamaican bobsled battleship too. They all.
It's just a bobsled in space.
Not even a battleship, just a 3-man, or are they 4-man?
It's a 4-man
bobsled.
They're like yellow helmets.
They got the helmet.
Just zipping through space. Warp speed, man.
Warp speed, man. I'm punching it up. And they all go out, but Commodore 64 gets on radio because he personally
hit the brakes, take us out of hyperspace.
Imagine. I would watch that.
I would watch
that.
Go
to the theaters for that. Commodore 64 goes and he personally delivers the last, like he goes into the comms area on his ship. Well, and he delivers the last.
Just before that, there's continuing on with the exchange between Commodore Ross and, and Lieutenant Colonel McQueen. There's an exchange I really like where Commodore Ross is like, I don't want to do this, but this is what we have to do. And McQueen is like, we can't leave them behind. But if we're going to, like, I want to go down there with them, which I immediately just wanted to start applauding. I'm like, yes, this is the right thing for this character. You are a morally just and good person. I am behind you 100%. This is the thing to do.
Part of it is because with the Admiral, it was McQueen that piped up and said, we had to leave, like, America had to leave like 5,000 troops behind on like these islands for months because it was more important to take this.
Yeah, he's the one who shares the story of the war in the Pacific that we had mentioned earlier,
which kind of went against what the Commodore was arguing. So even though they're from the same ship and you know they're they're both like working together, that almost seemed like he went against him. This almost feels like him kind of being like, hey, like I'm going down. I'm gonna we're gonna go 1 AU. That means astronomical units. It's how we measure great distances in space. An astronomical unit is the distance from the sun to the Earth.
Yeah, I kind of dig Doug that was the unit of measurement that they use, and not just like light year, which is like what every space show does. I was like, it's different. But anyway, so McQueen
astronomical units is a little bit more realistic in terms of actual like space distances, I guess, in planetary systems.
Yeah.
If you're talking about like between stars, then you would use light years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
thought that was gonna be okayed. Like he's like, hey, we'll pull back to 1 AU, and then when everything's clear, we're going to sneak back and find a way onto the planet, and we'll resupply our troops on the ground.
Yeah, because he's
like, absolutely not. Stand down.
They had wanted to leave 2 supply ships behind to keep supplying the Marines on the planet, and that got vetoed.
And he's like, absolutely not. And he's like, sir, Ross, if I can talk to you as a friend informally, I can't leave them behind after arguing that they should be left behind.
Yeah.
I don't know if I can live with that. And he's like, and as a friend, I'm telling you, no.
Yeah.
We can't have our assuming that nobody makes it and we're leaving everyone behind. We can't leave our best pilot.
Yeah. We can't lose the best pilot in the fleet on this kind of mission.
Transport ship. Yeah. Or depot ship. So yeah, he just knows that.
I really liked this exchange between them.
That was a very good exchange.
This is one of my favorite scenes in the entire episode.
That was good. That's what I mean by they acted their asses off. Man, you could see their eyes like tearing up and stuff. Like it got to me. Like,
I don't know if I've ever
like,
mentioned this before on the podcast, but like the kind of acting that impresses me the most is emotive acting.
Yeah.
Where you can see what a character is feeling just by looking at their eyes. Mm-hmm. Like that to me is like 11 out of 10 acting.
And I was watching it, and given their military roles where, they need to be like by the books and stuff like that, that's more important very easily. And some of the people in the squad, like their squad leader chick, pouty lips chick, I don't know if she's just very dry or that was the direction she was given, but she's like absolutely straight faced throughout everything.
Lieutenant
and that
Vanson
comes across
is her name.
What was that?
Lieutenant Vanson is her name.
Vanson. I couldn't tell if she was a bad actress or she was just very good at being like by the books.
I think she was just playing tough and stoic because that's
because it breaks down later.
She breaks down. There's something I want to mention later on in the episode when we get there. That's a really good character moment for her that I feel like kind of bucks a trope that happens later on.
Oh, okay, yeah, yeah. So Ross, and usually we don't get stuck in the weeds too much here. This is the opposite of a show where most of the scenes are fighting.
Yeah.
You know how like most we'll review a show on the podcast and we'll be like, not a lot to say because like the next 10 minutes are like ninjas fighting robots or whatever, right? This is dense. I feel like this whole episode, we already said this could be like a mini series or like a 2-hour like movie.
Honestly,
like, shit fucking happens in this show.
I wanted at least an entire episode delving more into like both like what was going on the USS Saratoga. That was the name of the other ship.
Yeah.
And what was going on with the Marines on the planet. Like that actually needed more airtime.
It did.
This is the rare occasion where I think the episode is too short for its own good.
How often actually fully agree. How often is it the opposite? Where we're like, man, this is like 15 minutes of things happening and like 25 minutes of nothing happening.
Yeah. So
or like wasted airtime.
I think we can kind of gloss over like most of the episode more because I feel like we could sit here and talk about this episode for like 6 hours.
And the meaning of it and okay, so I'm going to give a point by. So Ross gives listen up soldiers, blah, blah, blah. Like we need to, and then he uses codes because you need to. And he's like black cloud or whatever. I repeat, like black cloud. We need you to like maintain positions and keep fighting.
Yeah, he says,
and then he says like red something, red sand, red sand. I think black cloud and red sand. Which cloud? They were both kind of daunting, but all of the people on the ground presumably know these. Black, whatever it was, shadow. I think
I'm pretty sure it was black cloud
or black cloud. No air support.
Yeah,
and like the red sand was no reinforcements.
Yeah, which the Marines on the planet, like when they hear this, they know they're fucked,
and they're like, "Oh, so there's no air support coming, and we're not getting reinforcements."
Soldiers, you are encouraged to stand your ground and continue fighting, of course. However, if your position, your situation becomes compromised, you are fully authorized to surrender, which is like, wow.
And then the entirety of like this, what's a group and an army of boats that not a squadron, but a
Fleet.
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 The entire fleet leaves that system.
Yeah.
And it jumps around. It's like, 2 weeks later, 5 weeks later, like this week's later.
It jumps ahead 2 months.
And then
and I'm like,
the initial one is 2 months.
And I'm like, wow, I want to see more of what's going on on both sides of this over this 2 months.
So it jumps ahead 2 months, and kudos for them for keeping I'm assuming maybe they're going to another planet in the same system. But let's say they're going to another star system, in which case they must have some faster than light travel. I'm not sure. I would need to watch the show to figure out how, if it's one system they're fighting over, or if this is broader and it's different star systems they're fighting over.
No, I think it's different star systems. But we never
must have.
We never see
than light.
We never see a visual of them like going to warp speed or jumping
they just
to
like
FTL
disappear into like space. Yeah. So it says months later, and they're still attacking like Ixion, right? And we
quick sidebar in Battlestar Galactica, which we're going to get to, has a very minimalistic like visual depiction of faster than light travel, which I really like.
Okay.
So I'm excited to hear what you think about it when we get there.
Oh, interesting. So at Ixion, they're kind of losing. Mm-hmm. And the Admiral is like, we need to like cut our losses. We were doing really good, but like it's a war of attrition now, and we don't know if it's like worth it. And then Commodore 64, Commodore Ross is like gets on the comms or whatever, and he's like, I need like the USS and I need like the ISS, like blah blah, and like we need to like take this. And they like double down, because I think for him the emotion in that moment is like, no, we did not sacrifice all of that to then also lose this.
I think he actually says something to that effect, is that we didn't sacrifice those 25,000 people to lose here, to
then lose both battles.
Yeah,
instead of one we were winning. And then we cut back, and basically the wild cards are
the wild stallions.
1 week wild stallions. They're 1 week short of eating each other. And they're burying well, I mean, now here, question for you. You gave me a hypothetical. Okay. So you're going to die. There's no wildlife, lizards, like whatever. Plant life is toxic on this planet. For whatever reason, you can breathe the atmosphere. Don't worry about it. Yeah. Do you eat the one who's weakest, or do you eat the biggest one?
I would eat the alien.
Weakest. And see, that's what I was thinking too. I was like, hey, look how big those alien guys are. What if the aliens are like silicon based and they're toxic?
Oh,
like you can't. So what do you do? So do you eat the one who's kind of like weakest, or do you do three and you eat the most problematic one, the one who's like freaking out at people and who's going to like make the group fall apart?
I would starve. Or if it seemed like it was getting to a point where it was like point of no return and cannibalism was going to like occur, I would probably like do something that led to me getting killed.
I see what you mean. Like do something risky, like attack a supply depot or an alien, take one of them out with you.
Exactly, yeah. I would like run toward an alien. I would like grab 2 grenades, flick the pins off, and just start running toward the alien in like slow motion.
So you'd be like that orc that breaches the wall in the Battle of Minas Tirith in Lord of the Rings. The one with the bomb.
Exactly like that. Yeah.
I've played my hand at one of my special interests. So
I would be like Batman running around on a dock holding a comically large like bomb over my head.
I always just thought that's what bombs looked like as a kid.
Some days you just can't get rid of a bomb.
Yeah. Some days you just can't get rid of a bomb. So they bury their dead. They're scrounging for food. And you said there was a scene somewhere in here. Maybe it's a little bit later.
It's later.
But there's a scene where they hear somebody being like, somebody help. Oh, I'm down. I need help. And they're going to go over to help.
Real quick, right before that, because this does tie into later on.
Okay.
Lieutenant Vanson is radioing. Is like radioing, like giving reports. And like not getting any responses. And I think one of the characters mentions like, oh, why do you keep doing that? Like they're not listening anyway.
Well, they get one that's kind of like, oh, like these reports are important.
Yeah. Well,
but
indeed, one of the reports that Lieutenant Vanson radios in actually comes through, but it's like jamming the comms on the USS Saratoga, and the comms chick is like, disengage with these reports, wild cards. They're jamming our comms, and McQueen actually like in another like scene that I really like.
This is good. It was McQueen, not Ross.
It was McQueen.
Oh, you're right.
It was McQueen. He cuts her off and grabs the radio and says to Lieutenant Vanson, he's like, it was like, copy that, Marines. Keep these reports coming. They're very helpful. And he like
keep doing.
He keep doing what you're doing. And he puts the microphone down and says to the comms lady, he's like, don't you ever make them think that what they're doing is not important.
Yeah, kind of. And then like kind of slams the radio back against her.
Yeah.
That was pretty heavy too.
Yeah. A great moment in an entire episode full of great moments.
Yeah. And so they're looking through. They're starving. By the way, they have barely any ammo. They're searching their own dead for like clips and magazines. Right? There's a one guy.
Yeah, Lieutenant. His name's Lieutenant Wang. He grabs this one guy. Yeah, he grabs this one guy's wallet and pulls a condom.
Looks through the pictures of his family and stuff, and he finds like
a condom. Pulls it out and goes to pocket it, and like Vanson is like looking at him like, really? And he says,
"A man has to have hope.
A man has to have hope." Okay, and then puts it back. I laughed.
But then he puts it back. What they're doing is they are so they're taking dog tags. You take usually
one. You take one of the tags. Two. Yeah,
they have your name and any
name, rank,
probably
and serial
like
number.
A rank and serial number. That's
it's name, rank, and serial number.
And they take one and they leave the other one. Right. And they're putting them in a backpack, but they're also like taking people's wallets, rings, personal
watches,
so they can hawk them later, because maybe if they get out of this, they can send them back to their family.
And indeed, that does pay off at the very end of the episode in another scene bit that I really liked.
Right. The aliens, probably through captured. There's one comical scene.
They're pulling a predator.
They're pulling a predator or a Viet Cong, and they've got like speakers in like the woods and stuff, right? And they're kind of like, "Oh, please help me!" Oh, blah blah. And it's like, President Lincoln's dead.
Yeah.
So they don't really understand English.
Yeah,
or the context, and they make fun of him, and they're like, "What? Yeah, we know President Lincoln's dead. What are they? What is that trying to do?" And
they're trying to play mind games with us, but like they don't really. It seems they don't really understand Earth's
and then you
history.
hear like, "The Cubs suck."
Yeah,
and one guy stands up and he's like, "Oh fuck!" And the other guy like, or it's like something like the Red Sox suck or the White Sox.
I think it was the Chicago Bulls is what they meant.
Was it like the Bulls? Suck?
I think it was the Bulls. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. And they get down, and then they hear another voice crying out, And they're like, holy shit, that's actually somebody though.
That one's actually real.
And they try to intercept. And by the way, there's a part where they all got like their daggers out and they're like low going through the bushes. I screenshot it. Man, there's some good shots in here. But they can't do anything. At this point, they literally have no ammo, they said.
Yeah.
And there's like 2 or 3 of the aliens, and it shows them like butchering a human in a field with like a sickle thing. And they're like, the aliens are like cheering over it. And
that was rough. I was like, wow, this is actually like, this is war here. So the aliens are literally like butchering someone alive, and they pick up like one of them, like I think cuts like the guy's heart out or something.
I think it's like a heart.
Yeah.
Like, and cuts it out and like shows the other 2, and like they're all kind of like, oh, hoorah or whatever. And one of them wants to like run, and just in the middle of the nut, like if you're like starving and like
this would be my moment where I'm like, cannibalism, or I can charge at these fuckers with a grenade.
Give me the last of the grenades.
Yeah.
But they don't. They keep it together and they just retreat off into the night.
See, if this was Stargate, they would have saved that person.
If this was Stargate, they would have gotten there just in time. And the guy probably would have had like a leg injury or something, and they like medically treat him or whatever. So like, holy shit, like things are not good in this. Mm-hmm. So they find an old supply drop, but it's been raided, either destroyed or burned, or other people have gotten to it.
It was burned. It was specifically burned
because this is specifically burned. Yeah.
Because that ties into the sugar thing.
And somebody like leans down for like whatever reason. He's like sifting through the ground. The ground feels weird or sticky or whatever.
I think it was Lieutenant Wang who starts eating the dirt.
And he starts licking the dirt. And like people are looking at him and they're like, Wang,
what the fuck
dude,
are you doing?
We're not at the point where we're eating dirt, dude. Like, and they're actually, some of them almost seem scared. They're like, homie, stop. And he's like,
one of them like slowly like arcs their gun up. you okay?
I kind of remember some of them being like, hey, like before he gets space madness or something, right?
Yeah.
And he's like, no, like all the like the whatever was here, like all of like the sugar, like it melted like into the sand.
Yeah, the fire melted the sugar into the dirt. So the dirt is pretty much
so the
just
others
made of sugar.
Lift it up and like taste it, and then they all start like sifting or like eating like the dirt or whatever, except for Vanson. So they're, I guess they're eating, or in the very least letting the sugar melt in their fuck. And it shows Vanson and the radio's broken or runs out of battery or something like that.
Yeah.
Then it cuts to like another month away or whatever like that, and she's like sending like these reports still, and
this
she gets
the scene
busted.
That I was talking about. Yeah,
she gets busted because Hawks.
Oh, it's 12 days. Mouth. It's 12 days.
Oh, is it only 12 days?
12 days. Yeah.
Hawks gets fed up and he grabs like the comms set and the radio, and he's like, "Listen, motherfuckers, we're like starving."
Send like a goddamn supply ship. And then he realizes that the radio is broken. He's like, this radio's dead. He's like, what the fuck are you doing? How long has this thing been broken? And Vanson is like, well, it happened about like 12 days ago.
Yeah.
And the rest of the group are like, well, like, what the fuck? Like, why have you been lying to us? And this is a bit of a trope here where like the CEO is like keeping up appearances to like for the good of the outfit type idea.
That's right. I needed to do it for morale.
But she kind of breaks down, and we figure, and this is where it like kind of bucks the trope, because it's not just about like the good of the outfit and keeping up morale. It's also because she's kind of losing it on the inside. Like she's like feeling really defeated, and this is just like her way of like staying strong. So
yeah,
that I thought was a good character moment.
She made it about herself, a therapy moment. if you air your grievances with people, explaining how you feel, not that somebody made you feel a way, it tends to go over a lot more when you're like, hey, I'm like angry because blah blah, and maybe because like I feel like you're not like listening to me or something like that. That's a lot better than like, oh, you like never listen to me.
Yeah.
So in a way, that's better of keeping morale up, because she was like, oh well, like I need it because I wouldn't be able to like keep my shit together.
Yeah. And they all say, like, oh, we're going to leave. And she's like, you know what? Like, if you want to leave, like, go. Like, that'll be a lot of weight off of my shoulders. Because, like, bearing all of this responsibility of, like all of your, like, well-being, like, just being on me is, like, a lot. And I don't think I can do it anymore. I really felt for this character in this moment. So
that, it really flipped that trope where she was like, actually, yeah, go.
Yeah. And so,
but then they don't, because they're like, holy shit, like maybe we should actually quit being shitty and like help her.
Yeah. And they end up going back to the diner, which,
so they end up going back to the diner because they're like, let's go see what our supplies are at. Like that's like their base that they kind of return to.
Yeah.
And they go there. Oh, and they see debris. And they're like, oh, it's like a shooting star or like whatever. Maybe it's like good luck. This is months ago. And Wang, who must be in like an astronomer, he must be navigation or something like that. He's like, no, that's the ISS, like whatever. That's debris falling. And for the next few years,
it's USS in the show.
USS. I can't remember if it was a US ship or if it was something else that was blown up earlier. But regardless, he's like, that's debris, and we're going to be seeing that for like a few years. And they're like, oh, when they're going back to the diner, they see like a red light, and they're like, oh,
can you imagine what that would do for morale? Like your own morale? Like you're stuck on this planet, like you're marooned,
and
the
night lights up because it's falling, burning debris
because
from one of the ships.
Debris from like one of your ships, and like like no help is coming. That's got to be demoralizing.
Yeah, and it would be bright enough that it acts like a flare momentarily. So if you're trying to like, it's like ironic too, because it's like betraying you hiding by lighting everything up. Yeah, there's what I'm trying to say is there's a lot. Like we could spend 6 hours like managing it, but Wang says this time that the light out there looks like something maybe like 100 kilometers like out in a stable orbit, might be entering the atmosphere, might not. And they're like, fuck, they're gonna bomb this place. And they're like, okay, well, I was saving this for myself, but you know what,
it was Wang. He pulled out like one like remaining packet of like stevia that he had.
It's
like little like stevia packet for like an individual
this is how
cup
bad
of coffee
it is. And he's like, I figure you know, like we each wet our finger and we dip down to the first knuckle, and we have a last meal together. And they do. And I think Hawks like dips his finger farther than he's like supposed to, and Wang's like,
yeah, because Wang like gives him a look.
Yeah, and they do this, and I'm like, holy shit, man. They're like 2 weeks past eating dirt, and they're like savoring like a sugar packet. Like, this is bad.
Yeah.
And they realize that the ship outside isn't doing a strafing run. It lands. And Hawks is like, I'm not getting captured. And he like pulls out his knife. And then the others are too. Like they're not. We saw how the aliens act and like what they do. Like they're not. There's no war rules when it comes to them.
There's no Geneva Convention.
No.
And I appreciate that too. It's like we've gone through all of this for literally months. We've gone through this hell. Like it's not ending with us just like surrendering and like getting our throats slit
or a throat slit. Like I'm going out, and they all pull out their knives, and I'm like, fuck yeah! Like all of them like crouching, getting ready to just like throw themselves at like whatever's coming, and
The
looks like it's the Earth Defense Force, baby.
Yeah, what emerges from the ship is McQueen himself. I like the fact that he came down to the planet personally to like get them. And back on the ship, like we find out that of the 25, there are other survivors. Which that was a thing that was going on in the episode too. Was like the Marines here, like they had started because they had never found any living like any other survivors, so they were starting to wonder if they were the only ones who were left. But we find out that they actually like found like some like 2,000 other Marines who were still alive, which 2,000 out of 25,000
is
that sucks, but it's also good that like that many of them lived considering the circumstances
instead of none.
Yeah. And so they're in the hospital, and
it cuts to like a day later or something like that, and they've got like the IVs going in them, and they're all being. There's a scene where they're talking, and one of them is like, "I don't know why, but like I can't sleep."
Yeah, I just like
it feels like there's something I like need to stay.
I feel like I should be doing something, which I'm
too
like,
real, man.
Yeah, too real. Exhausted, but you can't sleep.
Kudos to, or like you've just spent like months like not being able to sleep because this propaganda machine's out, and you like
have to sleep with
like I said, I want to see a movie of their time on.
Yeah, right.
They're like 2-3 months like on the planet, but eventually they sleep. Kind of cuts to a time later.
McQueen is
Ross,
like McQueen is talking to them in their like hospital beds, and the other chick on the team, which damn, the other chick on the team was like, hey, like we kept these because like we didn't want to forget about the Marines we lost, and
that backpack of like dog tags,
that backpack of dog tags and trinkets
and trinkets. And McQueen picks it up, just wordlessly, like picks it up, and he goes to like leave with it to presumably give it to their loved ones and find out. And he holds it close to his. Again, there's so many fucking good parts to this. He holds it close to his chest, not because it's very heavy.
I think
because it's like important,
and I think she says something along the lines of like we kept these because we didn't want to forget the ones we lost. Let's make sure that no one else does either.
Yeah, well, they're coming for me.
And McQueen like actually like takes the bag like and actually holds it close to his chest. Like you can tell like this character is like feeling like what has happened.
Yeah, and there's a weight to a responsibility because he wasn't there for them. And then Ross comes in more like formal and kind of says like, oh, at ease, blah, blah. I'm not going to like regret the decisions that we had to make. I skipped over this very quick. I skipped over this. But they did end up like seizing like Ixion.
Yeah, they did. Yeah.
And for a while there, it seemed like they were going to lose. And I'm like, man, if they lose both, this is some fun. Like, what the fuck is going on in this show? This is right. But
honestly, if they had lost both, like it still would have been good. It would have been bleak.
I still would have liked, but
it would have been bleak. But it would have been. It still would have been good.
Exactly, because that happens. But. I just wanted to like point that out. Like for a big portion, it seemed like they were actually going to have to retreat and lose Ixion too. Yeah. But no, they took it.
Yeah. So Ross is like, as your commanding officer, I feel no obligation to explain my actions or orders to you, but I just wanted to let you know that we took Axion or Ixium, whatever the planet's name is.
Something like that. Yeah.
That we took the planet, and that you Marines did a great job down there. Something along those lines.
And he says, where is it? But can continue. And he says, I should have fucking wrote it down.
Lots of good lines in this show.
Space Above and Beyond.
The show has a great script.
Right?
Who's this written by?
Yeah, who's it written by? Because,
The
like,
show-
holy shit, this is one of the better things we've reviewed.
The show was created by Glenn Morgan and James Wong.
Glenn Morgan. Oh? What?
Guess what James Wong has also produced? I'll give you a hint. It involves Jet Li.
No.
Yeah.
The One?
Yeah, he was the producer of The One. He was also a producer
The
on...
Lasercomb Cinematic Universe is coming together.
he was also a producer on The X-Files.
Oh, shit. That's wild.
And Millennium.
Millennium.
That's
Oh,
a show.
interesting.
That's a show we should cover sometime, is Millennium.
Yeah. And I've got the scene here. He says,
We should...
soldiers, Ross says, soldiers, I have no need to explain myself or my actions. And as Admiral, I have no need to explain myself to you, and I don't regret it. But he says, but as a man and as a human being, I must share my emotions with you. I have never been more ashamed of myself or more proud of all of you.
Okay, that's a lot better than I gave it credit for
I
in my
needed to
yada
go.
yada.
I needed to go because I remembered it was something like that, and I was like, I need to go. I
Wow.
should have wrote it down, but
Wow.
I found it right away.
Glenn,
As a human being, I've never been more ashamed of myself, but I've never been more proud of all of you. That's man.
So this show was written by Glenn Morgan. It was created by Glenn Morgan and James Wong. Glenn Morgan also wrote The One. He wrote the screenplay. So it's all
Holy
coming
shit.
together.
We have that there's McCorkindale and Glenn Wong.
Glenn Morgan and
Laser-
James Wong.
or Glenn Morgan and James Wong, and now Michael. Was it Michael McCorkindale or
Simon.
Simon McCorkindale?
The legend
Who
himself.
else do we add?
May he rest in peace.
Who else is part of the Lasercomb cinematic universe?
Oh, what's his name? One of the creators of Beast Wars, who also wrote some of those Image Comics shows.
Oh, right.
Larry DiTilio? Yeah, I think so.
DiTilio? Yeah.
Larry did,
All coming together.
and Bob Forward.
Oh, yeah.
Oh no, was it? No, I don't think it was Larry DiTilio. I think it was Bob Forward.
So that we did it. We cut through it all here. Hopefully it wasn't super dry listening to it. Not a lot of jokes to be had. But before I ask the ultimate question here, are there any thoughts you have before we close out here?
No, I don't think so.
All right. Siege,
Yep.
you just caught a random episode of Space Above and Beyond. Would you tune in next week?
I sure as hell would. I 100% legally procured every episode of this show for that purpose. This is great. This is the kind of sci-fi that I like. I really like military science fiction.
This is, and again, we Siege had said it in reverse of what I'm about to say now. This is like a more serious Stargate.
Yeah.
Again, that not saying anything bad about Stargate, but like, man, I had no idea that this show. Yes, I would tune in next week as well. I'm saying this is probably in like the top 5 things we've randomly watched and reviewed.
Yes. There's a tier, I find. There's like a top 5 of things that are like legitimately like great, and there's also like a top 5 of things that are great in how like lol they are. Like Manimal is definitely number 1
Manimal?
in that top 5 of things that are great in how lol.
Not great in any particular not great in any standard way of measuring visual media. but great in its takeaway and the experience.
Yeah. Manimal is like Omega level tier of that kind of great. This, I think, is Omega level tier in just like legitimately like a great show.
Writing, acting, like pacing. Again, it felt like things were rushed too much, but that's like an hour long like TV show slot.
It left me wanting more, damn it.
Yeah, but more so than like almost everything we've probably covered. So there's our endorsement of Space Above and Beyond.
So yeah, you're tuning in next week as well.
I'm actually going to try to get my partner to watch this with me. It's this was one episode, and it went through what felt like us reviewing like a season.
Yeah, totally.
Like, kudos to everything.
And well, that was episode 134 of the Lasercomb podcast. If you want to support the show, go to patreon.com/lasercomb, LAZORCOMB. Starting at the $5 tier, you get access to our bonus weekly Patreon exclusive podcast, the Cal and Siege Super Show. This week, we talked a lot about the European wall lizard, an invasive species in Victoria. Victoria, specifically.
So
and a recent thing, too, like within the past few years. It's crazy.
But they're cute lizards, damn it.
They are cute. At the $10 tier, you get that. You get the occasional commentary track, and you get to pick a show for us to review a random episode of on this very podcast. If you want to find something better than Space Above and Beyond, that's your chance. $10 a month. If you want to interact with us, join the Discord. Link in the description as always. Buy a Lasercomb t-shirt. Link in the description as always. We'll be back next week where we're going to be continuing on with Space Shit. Where we're going to be talking about something
there was space shit in this episode.
There was lots of space shit in this episode.
But very specifically shit in that freezer that they opened.
Yeah, there was literal space and literal shit. Unfortunately, the literal shit was not in space, though.
Oh, it wasn't. It was on a planet.
So got to knock that rating down to 5 out of 10.
maybe the next show will have space shit.
Yeah, the next show we're going to be talking about is something Cal has wanted to review for... I feel like you've been talking about Lex for at least a couple of years.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah. And well, now's the opportunity. We're going to be talking about Lex, the series. And to find out what episode we're going to be covering next week, I'm going to hit screen share and share the screen. How many episodes does Lex have? Lex has 61
4 seasons.
61 episodes. The name of the final episode is Yo Way Yo. I'm going to go to the random number generator, which I usually have up in advance, but I didn't today. You know what else I forgot to do was insert commercial breaks.
Oh, shit. Well, after.
Ah, well.
They get one after.
Yeah, maybe. Maybe I'll make the cold open a commercial
break. There you go. We never did. We didn't really have a cold open.
Not really, no. I kind of did something, but I wasn't super... It wasn't...
You weren't into it, yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, one random number between 1 and 61, and here we go! 23.
23. Lucky number 23.
Good number.
Good.
That is the penultimate episode of Season 2. Season 2, Episode 19, Bryson.
Bryson?
From April 16th of 1999. We'll be back next time with that, and until then, I have been the youngest man alive, Commodore Siege.
And I'm the oldest kid alive, Sergeant Cal.
Thanks for listening. We will shit in your space next week.
Or God help us.
Bye-bye.